The next segment is the Q&A session, and just a reminder that you have 3 minutes to answer each question, and Jim, you'll lead us off on this one first, okay? The first question: the past 2 years have seen an apparent shift in the image of the Republican Party. The evolution of the Tea Party movement has underscored this shift and sent a message to the GOP to fill this void. How would you lead the rebranding of the Republican Party and the promotion of the brand?
Well, I think that the Republican Party lost its way over the last 10 years in a big way, and that it was started to spend just like the Democrats. And we're spending money we don't have. We're driving our country deeper and deeper into debt. Our deficits are now approaching $14 trillion, but our unfunded liabilities are actually estimated to be over $88 trillion. And $88 trillion is 40 times our gross national tax revenue. You know, the country collects about $2.2 trillion in taxes. And that's after taking 4 months of the average American's pay. For many, it's 6 months to pay their taxes. So it's not like we're not paying enough. It's the government is overspending. And it's been extraordinarily wasteful and also inefficient. What we've got to do is exercise some self-discipline. And it's tough being the adult at the party and saying, we can't continue to do this, but truly we can. We're degrading our currency at an alarming rate. You know, the dollar has now lost, at one point just a few weeks ago, the dollar hit $1.50 against the euro. Now, back in 2000, the euro cost 78 cents. It got up to $1.50. We lost 45% of our value in less than 10 years. So in addition to being overtaxed, overregulated, our savings are being destroyed. And the value of your house and the value of your bank accounts are being destroyed. That's because of a government that's out of control. And you know, if you look back through history, from the Athenian Republic to the British Empire, every great democratic republic has fallen because of loose fiscal policies. Britain lost its empire in 1946 because, having survived 2 world wars and having survived the Nazis in a 35-year period, and the intervening period between World War I and World War II were difficult because they could never take their eye off the ball. But by 1946, despite the fact they had a powerful military, an empire that spanned the globe, a very enviable economic position, they were broke. And the terms that the United States gave them to get them out of the hole ended the British Empire. By 1948, they were completely out of India, and they were well on their way to divesting all of their assets in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Now, we should connect these dots and learn the lesson before we find ourselves in the same fate as all others who have gone before us. There's going to come a time when we keep borrowing, when the Chinese, who we owe over $1 trillion to, will say, yeah, sure, Uncle Sam, we'll lend you some more money, but here are our terms and conditions. We're not going to like that. So the best thing for us to do is exercise some self-discipline, get the waste and corruption under control in Washington. And you're not going to go and win a lot of friends doing this, but I'm not trying to win friends. I'm trying to go and clean up this government. And I think that I'm uniquely suited to do that. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Ovid, how would you lead the rebranding of the Republican Party?
Thank you, Mike. I think it's a very good question. First of all, with respect to the Tea Parties and the 9/12 movement, I welcome that movement. I welcome the energy that we're seeing around the state, and it's really powerful. Men and women who have never been involved in politics are starting to say, I want to get involved. I want to make a difference. And I'm not sure if I'm a Republican or a Democrat because I don't know what they stand for anymore. Our Republican Party didn't lose its power and its opportunity to save our republic because of the values we stand on or because of the principles. We've lost our way because we've deviated from those principles. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, when we were in the majority party, we were starting to earmark more than the Democrats. We started treating federal money like a charitable trust or a charitable foundation and doling it out to each other. And that raised deficits. We spent more than we should have. We were involved with the first stimulus package. Our Republican majority passed the first stimulus under President Bush. And we did No Child Left Behind. We strayed from our core principles. I think the Republican Party still is the party of hope and opportunity that believes in the citizens and the power and the rights of the citizens to live a better life and to build a better life for themselves and their neighbors. But we need to enable them to do that. The Tea Party movement, the 9/12 movement, is calling on us as Republicans to reaffirm our core principles, to stand on those principles, and to lead based on those principles. And I think what we need to have are candidates who are willing to stand on our platform and articulate the values of the party, of what we believe in. So when I go to Washington, one of the things I also want to fight for is term limits. I think there should be an end of this attitude of entitlement that if you're elected, you're somehow smarter than the rest of America. They're not. Our elected representatives should serve for a limited time and come home. And we need to refresh the Congress. So term limits is an important initiative, and I'll term limit myself to 2 terms if I'm given an opportunity to serve, because we need to lead by example. And in the end, that's what's going to win the hearts and minds of Americans, because I think people are ready to make some sacrifices for the future of the next generation and the generations to come. And our party, I think, is uniquely poised to say, Washington and bigger government is not the way to go. Responsible fiscal discipline, limited government, and freedom and opportunity at the state and local level, that's the way to go. And that's how we'll reclaim our majority in the United States. Thank you.
Thanks, Ovid. Kelly?
Well, I think the Republican Party can rebrand itself also to make sure that we go back to write what's on this wall right here. Common sense, individual liberty, local government, and fiscal responsibility. Core things that the Tea Party movement fights for, which is a smaller, more accountable government, making sure we're living within our means, fiscal responsibility, individual freedom, and the enthusiasm of that movement and what I see on the campaign trail is tremendous. And we need to make sure that we carry that enthusiasm forward to the election and that we lead. We cannot fail to lead. And I think what we've seen is a failure of leadership. We saw it when we overspent, when Republicans were in charge. We're seeing it right now with the Democrats in charge, a failure of leadership. And people in this country want leadership. And that's how, as the Republican Party, we can go forward. Not be afraid and focused on the next election, but getting real results for this country and on issues that we all know are going to hurt our country, like our debt and our deficit, and the expansion of our government into areas where it's best left for families and individuals and localities.
Great, thank you, Kelly.